Potential shift here, trading like it's 2026, not 1996. Here, risk management is everything. We stay one step ahead of the algos, and we tune out what's broken about today's trading culture, mainly trying to predict the future. Welcome. I hope you can make the shift. The lesson today is more for me than anybody else because today I fell into the trap of predicting what would happen without the price action giving me any clues. Classic. This is what all of us are trained to do by trading media. Let me be clear about something though. No one can predict where stock prices are headed. No one, all right? Maybe Warren Buffett, maybe.
Number one rule of Wall Street. Nobody, I don't care if you're Warren Buffett or if you're Jimmy Buffett, nobody knows if the stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in fucking circles. Least of all stockbrokers.
But there is actually a reason for that. He buys and he holds. And when it comes to the stock market, we know exactly two things. Stocks move up over very long periods of time, and everything else is completely random. That's it. That's your knowledge base when it comes to the stock market. So how can we possibly hope to make money as a day trader or as a swing trader? What we do have is risk management. Risk management is not random. There are rules to it, and it can be profitable. We also have the knowledge of past price actions. We can spot patterns. We can't predict the future, but we can identify when stocks are generally trending in one direction or another. In other words, we have PNF, past, not future. We have a crystal clear picture of the past and a total lack of information about the future. The key, and I'm saying this as much to myself as to anyone else, is using what we see in the past price action to determine the odds of future price movements, not predicting the future. That is impossible. What we can do is examine past price performance, patterns, in other words, and use risk management skills to create trades with a positive expected value. Now, I know all of this may sound rather obvious, and as I sit here and say it, it sounds obvious to me, but you know, deep down inside, when you sit down and start trading, this obvious idea tends to be forgotten almost instantaneously as FOMO and what I would call the Kreskin Effect take over. The Kreskin Effect is the irrational and difficult to ignore sudden psychological effect that you can predict the future, okay? I've experienced the Kreskin effect multiple times today, all right? And it cost me. It will cost you almost every single time. The Kreskin effect, it comes on suddenly and it's hard to control, and it tells you you can predict the future with near certainty. You cannot. No one can. And it is the ultimate trap, and one that must be guarded against constantly. What can you rely on to be profitable? There are biases, and there is momentum. For our purposes, let's call bias a medium-term trend, usually lasting anywhere from a few days to a few months. Markets do have biases, and you can read them based on past price action. Momentum is a very similar concept, but for much shorter periods of time. Momentum is any sort of trend we see in prices during today's trading. So momentum is today's trend. Biases are longer-term trends. And let's be clear, both are based on price action that we have already seen. In other words, the past. An understanding of biases and momentum can give us a slight edge in predicting the probability of future price movements. Not a crystal ball, not anything even near approaching certainty, just small shifts in probability. These small shifts in probability, when combined with basic risk management skills, please see my other video, Selection Outs Sizing, or SOS. Check out that video, is what makes an active trader profitable. All right. So please, and I'm talking to potential shift to myself right now, be aware of and on guard against the Kreskin effect. You cannot predict the future, only probabilities. As obvious as that may seem right now to all of us when we are not in the trading arena, you have exactly two tools at your disposal: past price performance and proper risk management. Everything else is misleading and a leak. The sooner you can completely let go of the idea of predicting the future and accept the idea of having slight edges in probabilities and combining that with risk management, the sooner you will be able to make money. That's all it comes down to. Protect first, profit second, and welcome to the shift.